losing games, if I feel like I'm playing good, the loss doesn't really hurt as much. But it's when I'm like just playing really bad and then we just lose like back to back, that's when it really, I feel like that sucks. So improving is definitely at the forefront. The rank just kind of feels like it shows you that you're not improving because it doesn't feel like it, I guess is what I'd say.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What feels worse? Going in to game, trying a new mechanic, messing it up and losing the game, or and messing it up and losing the rank, or feeling like you're improving slower because you're not pushing yourself. What hurts more?
Oh, that's actually really tough. Because if I like try a speed flip and we just get kickoff gold, right? I mean that definitely sucks. But the day in day out grind and like I feel like I can't like get a grip on a certain mechanic. I feel like that probably stings more because I've put like time and effort into trying to do it and I still can't do it. Like I'd say that probably is worse for me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you really want to improve, but you also feel like you're sacrificing rank and because you're not improving as much as you want. And so it sounds like to me like you're a little bit torn because on the one hand you want to improve and get better as fast as you can, but on the other hand you're telling me like it sucks when we lose and I feel like we're not winning. And so I would just have to I would propose to you that you need to pick your struggle. You can't have both. You can't be improving at the max rate and not challenging yourself in game. So it's like, would you rather improve to your maximum and be whiffing and messing up in game? Or would you rather slow down your improvement but be a little bit more consistent in game and not go for as many mechanics and things like this?
Yeah, and you did mention the
Yeah.
last time that I was on Discord call with you that like I need just kind of more things in my toolkit. Like I was just kind of doing the same things over and over and it wasn't really working. So I think to your point, I mean I would probably rather try to learn more things and challenge myself more, I think.
Then yeah,
But no one's ever really put that question in front of my face. So now that you did, I feel like I'd probably think about it more
yeah,
like that.
for sure, give it some thought. But I think we need to accept the costs of the strategies we have, so that way when the moment comes where we pay the price, we go, "This is a chosen pain." Because if you choose neither pain, you end up in the middle and you suffer from both. And so it's like if you, for example, say, "My only goal is improvement," and then you go in game and you try something new and you whiff it, you can give yourself permission to say, "No, this is my goal. I'm trying to do speed flips. If I mess it up, it's okay. That's my goal." But if you don't say that your goal is improvement and then you mess it up, you feel bad about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100% it does.
Yeah, so I think what you need to decide is this season, I'm focused on improvement. Or this season, it doesn't have to be a permanent part of your life, right? And I'm saying Rocket League season or just season in general. Like, for the foreseeable, I'm focused on improvement. For the foreseeable, I'm focused on rank and just be very deliberate about it. So that way you can set realistic expectations with yourself. It's like that's how I would speak to a friend about this, if that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean that definitely is, and I do feel like tilt queuing has played a big part in my rank drop, and just my experience as a whole. I think that's recently played a big part. So I think
Yeah.
it's in that like you saying this like that's an important thing for me to focus on. I think is this mental aspect of it.
Yeah. Having this mental kind of stress will surely translate to your game performance. I rarely see somebody who like can articulate it and is aware of it, but it doesn't translate to their rank performance at all. So let's work through those things. You cool if we jump into the replay?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna watch you here. You're soft cheating up. You're playing at a Diamond 2 level, partied up with the teammate Eddie, Cam and Eddie. I'll suggest some improvements to you as we go. If you'd like me to pause or jump in, please. And anybody, if you have questions in YouTube chat, please drop them in YouTube chat. I know we also have a Discord call going, but I'll give the attention to Cam here. So just be kind of a captive audience.
Yeah, like I said, I'm on my phone, not at home, so I'll just be kind of like unmuting when I feel like it's, I have something important to say.
Yeah.
So other than that, just, whatever you see, like I said, any criticism at all, like,
Yeah.
speak it. So.
All right, we'll start then. Here it goes. You're going to attack the ball here. We jump around, and then we end up going for it again. I didn't expect that to work, but it ends up working. I'm not sure if you're trying to read the ball before the bounce and then realize it bounced, or if that was part of the plan, but that worked. After this bounce happens, I instantly recognize that this is something I call a dead play. So when you get this super high 50-50 in this position, and now the ball is flying up and over to the right side of my screen, and I have 0 boost, so if I just play this here, I recognize that this is a dead play. And what a dead play means is you have no scoring opportunity and nothing really meaningful you can do with the ball. You're just in a position where this ball is going over the net. You're coming at it from the wrong side. In order to score, you would have to like somehow go all the way around to your mid boost, grab mid boost, come back. Right? You would somehow have to get around this ball to the right side of the field, and it's not happening. So the minute this happens, I recognize that my play on the ball is over, and I switch into a different mode of Rocket League, and that mode is off the ball play. So maximizing my rotation, my impact, and that can come from bumps, boost grabbing, repositioning, etc. But I'm noticing by your camera movement that when this ball 50s over to the right, we're still playing for a goal here. And to me, that signals that we're kind of missing the objective of the play. The objective of the play is not to score this. You're never scoring this. And by playing on the ball for longer, we just continue to put ourselves out of position and on the wrong side of the play. And we make life really hard on ourselves. You end up cutting in here, which is okay. But to recap, my whole suggestion for this play is flip here. This is a dead play. Leave ball, grab corner boost, head back. Leave ball, grab corner boost, get behind your teammate. That's, I think, the more like linear and logical play here than trying to continue to go for the ball while stuck under it and on the wrong side. I think, and by the way, this is a replay glitch. You're not at 95 boost, you're at 12. There you go.
Yeah, because my teammate was back there too. I'm pretty sure he already had boost as well, and he was just kind of waiting in the middle, probably driving in circles, wondering what I'm doing up there.
Yeah. When you stay in a play where you're, let's say, 20% effective, you're robbing your teammate of the opportunity to go in. And he could go in here. He could be going right now. I don't know why he doesn't go. Maybe he got beat. But you staying in the corner definitely is going to make it more confusing for a diamond teammate to understand what you're doing. So that's a good observation. Any questions? Hey, Luke,
No, I mean, that makes perfect sense. No questions from me.
Cool. Yeah, so it's very important to recognize when we have a dead play. This is a good 50. Here, I like to see us go probably up the wall. We try for a shot. We just don't get a good shot here. Here, we just have to slow down. We have to let this ball drop to us in order to be able to shoot it. And you just jump too early, and you run out of boost. You just needed to wait half a second. Just rushed your play. Teammate tries for a shot. We're awkward here. Yeah, this is very challenging. You have to double tap power slide here if you want to line up a shot. And then back up a little bit and then be able to shoot. But realistically, it's very challenging. Like the maneuver looks like... We're driving here. We have to come back, see that the ball's here, come back around it, back up as the ball comes into us, and then like have to turn around and go back. It's just really challenging to do this. I wouldn't expect you to do this with diamond mechanics. So I would just, in most of these plays, after you finish in the corner, I would recommend moving back. It's really hard when you try to basically stay in a play that's, let's call it dead, rather than leaving. You'll see that here. Here we just needed to have patience, slow down, line up your shot. Nobody's contesting you. You rush a shot, so we don't get the opportunity, and then we stay up here, and that's going to overcommit us. In that position, the minute you don't have anything and you feel the sense of awkward, just full leave. they end up getting it around your teammate and you, and then they have a 2v1 on your teammate. So you can stay up here, but this requires power slide, backing up. It's really challenging. I would just leave. You got baited, which is tough. I can understand why that happens, though. It's a very awkward position to be in.
Yeah, I think part of like that backflip that I did there, that comes from like, I don't know, this like urge to like try to catch them off guard. Like, oh, they'll never expect I'm just gonna stop and backflip. You know what I mean? But it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's almost
like
always it's super easy to stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never expect this beat, and it like barely changes the direction of the ball. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just in a very weak position, and I think it's a sign of a and don't take this the wrong way, but it's just a sign of a player with less hours to think that every position in Rocket League is a potential scoring opportunity. Whereas a higher ranked player just instantly recognizes like, oh, I'm in a shit spot. Like I just can't do anything with this. But you're basically clinging on to plays and like, no, I can still score. And it's leaving you and you're just not recognizing when you're in a disadvantaged position. And the better move is to just move back, right? So this is how
that makes perfect sense. And I do feel like I have a pretty constant problem with that. Like, I mean, there's times, yeah, I'll rotate back at the perfect time and have really good positioning and whatnot, but I definitely feel like a lot of the times that we get beat and scored on is like moments like that, where it's that like, oh, I can still try to make something of this, and the better option would have been to just get out of there.
Yeah. Understand that Rocket League, you take turns on offense and defense. It's kind of like chess. Like you're attacking, you're repositioning, you're attacking, you're repositioning. Does this make sense? You're making threats, you're capitalizing on the threat, you're pulling back. If you treat the entire game as you playing offense, yeah, you'll just overcommit a lot.
Yeah.
I notice you have I don't know if this is a misclick or like you're intentionally jumping here, but you like pre-jump. You're pre-jumping here. I'm not sure if this is a misclick. Puts you in a poor position.
Yeah, I think that one was because I was gonna try to like pre-flip and like hit the ball, but then I noticed that they were coming in like too late, so then I kind of abandoned like the pre-flip play, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would almost never be doing like this Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line move. It doesn't work in Rocket League. When the ball's on the ground, there's no advantage to locking yourself in the air preemptively. It just makes you a less flexible player, which is exactly what we see. You never want to like lock yourself into an option. You rarely, I shouldn't say never, but you rarely want to reduce the amount of options you have in a game, right? In a reaction time game.
Yeah.
This ball should bounce high. You might have a scoring opportunity here. Good try, but this is very challenging. I would be dribbling this ball. Going for a double here, not the best position to do so. You either shoot or dribble. I would dribble the minute you don't get this touch. I would just catch and dribble.
Yeah, I think looking at it back right now, I definitely had, plenty of time to just catch it softly and, take it some different way. I definitely didn't have to just hit it downfield like that.
Yeah. Here, I don't think you have time to catch it softly. And then here, you do have time to catch it softly. And you don't. So an important concept, and I know this is very challenging to do when we're not super confident in our own mechanics, but the root cause of this is looking at the wrong thing. If you see this player here, you should be knowing that I need to jump to block, right? You recognize D4N1 is here. You should be knowing I need to get up above him and block this shot on my net, but we don't jump. Now in this position, if we're once again, I know it's hard to do this, focusing on where the opponents are. This guy's flying into Neverland. Goodbye. And this guy is going back post, right? So both of those things tell me I have plenty time to hold the ball. And it seems like we're just watching the ball and not looking at the players, specifically the opponents, to know when we have time. Oftentimes,
I ball watch pretty much constantly. I've been trying to break myself of it, but it's really hard. Because I've got like basically 2,500 hours of ball watching, and only recently have been really trying to like look at other areas, but it's a really hard habit to break.
Yeah. Looking at replays is a good start. I do sense that you have a lot of hours in Rocket League because your movements are not they're not optimal, but they're very consistent. So you very consistently make the sort of same mistakes every play. And I'll let this play back as an example. Like, you very consistently are doing this mistake of, I have a poor angle on the ball, I need to leave and get around the other side of the ball, but because the ball is nearby, I'm going to keep trying to go for it. And just leaving yourself out of, putting yourself in poor positions. So you're, in other words, the silver lining I'm trying to tell you is, like, you're very consistently, like, I see how your thought process works. So it's very consistent. It just means we have to break these habits and apply them to a consistent, stronger play style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I touched on with, like, when I had said in the text, like, that there has to be, like, you know, a way that I'm training, like, wrong, or, like, something. Like, whatever I'm doing is not right, and it's what I've been doing the whole time, is kind of what I was touching on. Like,
Yeah.
like, I feel like, oh, you know, I'm doing a lot of hours of this training or, like, that training, but I'm probably not spending my time on the right things.
Yeah. Well, I think the core issue right now that I could tell you, that anybody could tell you, is our eyes are on the wrong thing. So I think when you're playing the game, you're giving me a lot of symptoms about how you feel. You're telling me I feel rushed, I feel nervous, I feel like I'm overcommitting, I feel like I'm not in a position to use my mechanics. All of these things are symptoms. They're not a fact, right? They're not the cause of what's going on in your gameplay. You're giving me how I feel, right? And I think the symptom of all of this is we aren't adequately taking in information on the screen. So our eyes are not here. Our eyes are all here. All right? This is the only thing we're looking at. And so this causes you, when the only thing we're looking at is the ball and not the opponents, we don't know how much time we have. We don't know when we're beat to a ball. We don't know when we have time to control it. We don't know when we need to speed up and shoot. We don't know when we need to play a block. It's just everything is based on how close the ball is to me. And so it puts you in a position.
Pretty accurate.
So what we need to do then is we need to take a step back in our games, recognize that I am going to play slower for my next 100 hours of Rocket League. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to be specifically looking at the opponents more so than just the ball. Because this, like, the movement here signals to me that we forgot that there's an orange guy. You guys see this? Where's this orange guy? Right here. He's hiding on the right side of the screen. There's one orange guy here. So if I just do donuts around the ball here, they're going to catch up eventually. That guy is coming around the backside of my screen right now. He's lining himself up. And if I don't do something, hello, how you doing? But we should have known that that was coming because he was here the whole time. He was on our screen the whole time. That makes sense? And this guy has his own problems going on, but makes sense. So in other words, what do you understand about what I've said so far? Feel good? Does it not feel good? Do you relate? Do you think I'm just completely off?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you've hit everything, you know, right on the head, to be honest. I mean, I think that everything you've said about how I'm thinking in these situations is definitely accurate to, like, in that moment. And, I mean, I would not disagree with anything that you said, and it all makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Just things I haven't really, like, thought about, you know, before, because, like you said, just kind of done the same thing for so long that it's so easy for me to just resort to that.
Yeah. Well, when nobody's taught us how the game works or the things that we need to be thinking about when we play Rocket League, we just tend to learn a bunch of rules about whatever feels good. And oftentimes whatever feels good is like, ball near me, I go hit, right? But if you're playing to win, you need to understand, like, what I'm trying to do is teach you how Rocket League works as if it was a brand new game, which is like, hey, Cam, every time you get the ball will not necessarily be a scoring opportunity. Oh, that makes sense, right? Just like in chess, just like in any other game. You're not always going to be on offense. You have to recognize when you're no longer on offense. Oh, every time the ball is near you, you can't necessarily go for it. You have to check if they are closer and it's the opponent's turn to go. The opponent has rightfully earned the ball, right? So it's just we just need to build up your habits. First, we have to identify the bad ones, so that way we can break them. And once we break them, we need to we need to understand why they're wrong so we can institute better ones. Once we know that we need to break them, we need to understand why they're wrong so we can understand the fix.
Yeah, for sure.
So it takes a lot of levels. But I would say the big ones are right now we're not always looking at the ball. We feel like it's always our turn to shoot and play offense. And the people in your lobbies are not saints either. They're not perfect with this stuff. Yeah. I wouldn't actually say that you're super inconsistent. I know you think you're inconsistent, but you're actually not very inconsistent. You take better 50s than most players in these lobbies.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say you're super inconsistent. I would just say the moves you choose to go for are not always like relevant to the situation. They don't always match. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's neither solely like mechanics or position. It's more of like just my play decisions, really.
Yeah. Well, I would
like not exactly where I'm at. Like it's based on where I'm at, what I'm choosing to do with it.
Yeah, I would say you make decisions in a incomplete way. Like you don't fully take in the information on the screen. And so the decision you make is usually optimized for only one variable, which is like how close am I to the ball? That's like the primary variable driving most of your choices about whether to keep going or not. But there are many variables in Rocket League. Opponent's position, speed of the play, boost I'm at, and to a smaller degree, time on the clock, like a lot of things. Now, I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but I'm just, yeah. If you play Rocket League at a high level, you know that you're doing this algebra in your brain of like 8.5 variables and weighting them all in different situations and deciding whether or not to go. Like here, I'll give you another example, and this is just a high-ranked intuition versus a lower-ranked intuition. You're going for this ball. There are 2 players behind you. You're trying to line yourself up, right? You're playing for an attack. So Cam, I want you to think right now, I'm imagining, we don't know where Cam was a week ago, but when Cam was playing this game, he's in attacking mode, right? Let's call it replay Cam.
Yeah.
So replay Cam is telling himself, I want to go for a shot. You're repositioning. You're lining yourself up for the shot. You're going, okay, I'm going to get this shot off, right? Oh no, he uses his boost and cuts you off. You can no longer go for the shot. You with me?
Yep.
Okay, so we can no longer go for the shot now, but replay Cam isn't taking this new account. Replay Cam really wants to shoot right now. Replay Cam really wants to score. And so when Replay Cam turns around and sees that there's no boost, Replay Cam doesn't know what to do, and he says, I'm going to go back to scoring mode. And so you just keep driving to the ball with 0 boost, and it's very clear that they're going to clear the ball over, but you're in scoring mode. You're in Replay Cam wants to score, right? Oh, and this almost works. But in this position, I would immediately, when I can't get this shot off, I would speed flip into it. I would have played that ball to the side boost. But once we missed our opportunity to react quickly and speed flip the ball to the side boost, now we're here. This is no play land. So I'd immediately be turning back mid to grab the boost. We were a little slow to recognize that, so we missed the boost. And now that we're a little slow to recognize that there's this boost, I would probably be playing in the mid for boost. I'd probably be playing the boost diamond over here. I would think, what's the most nearby boost that allows me to stay in the play? And I would go grab these. I go grab one of these. I'd probably boost something like this. This is probably my proposed rotation. I'd drift something like this. But it's clear to me that we're not fully taking in the information of the lobby, and it's really hard to do this calculus. But you can see like how your decision making is more so based on where the ball is. And when enough information confuses you, you kind of break and you just start drifting back to the ball. This was okay, but if we were in a stronger position with more boost, we might have scored this. It's a very reactive way of playing, sort of just chasing the ball around the field. Does this make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually something I have talked about before. And I was kind of talking about it with Torment, is like one thing I wanted to work on was like playing more intentional and less just purely reactive, because I feel like I'm constantly playing reactive. I have recently recognized that.
Yeah, you do play very reactive. I would say this is correct. And so most of your errors in this game have stemmed around overcommitting. But the reason they stem around overcommitting is because you're not adequately taking time to recover and grab boost. So by the third or fourth attacking play, you're still playing offensive mode with 0 boost. So you often run yourself out, right? This is how like your errors are manifesting. They manifest as overcommits, but really it's lack of retreating and lack of using your downtime and just playing ball over and over again. And eventually you run out of steam, right? This is Rocket League. It's based on boost. So you're running out of steam on offense, you're running out of boost, and then it usually culminates with some form of overcommit, and then you guys get scored on. Right. And there's a lot of...
that's definitely pretty accurate.
And there's a lot of just cutting back and trying to play the ball when there's really not much to happen. Like here, we get a good touch on the ball, but after you get that touch on the ball, it's the exact same decision-making mistake that's happened 3 or 4 times. Obviously, replay cam doesn't know this. Poor guy. But you make this touch on the ball, I would once again tell you, dead play. Your car's facing the wrong way. It's about to land in their corner. There's really nothing you can do with 12 boost here to make a strong shot. Leave the play. Leave the play, go get boost, let your teammate go. But instead, we kind of linger on the ball, and we're going to get a weak touch. We're probably going to pass it back to them at the goal line or not get a touch at all. Let's see what happens. Probably going to make a weak touch. Probably not going to make a good touch at all. You get this stop. I would leave here now. Let your teammate go who has more boost. But instead, we're going to spend a lot of time lining ourselves up. We actually almost get a good touch. I don't know why both orange team full left. Oh, they both went to their corner boost. They both full left the play. So this is awful play from orange team. They should not have given you even an opportunity here. Good job using it. But yeah, this is just a lot of poor... Nobody in this lobby understands like the urgency of the play, where they need to be going, so it's just a lot of bad decisions after bad decisions. You ever watch a low-ranked chess game? Where, like, somebody blunders their queen?
I mean, not really.
Okay. If anybody watches chess, they know what I'm talking about.
But I wouldn't say I watch low rank. Like, I've seen some high-ranked chess plays, but not really low rank.
Low-ranked Rocket League is very similar to low-ranked chess in the way that, like, it's not about who is necessarily better at the game or who has more peak skill. It's about who gives away their queen less. So in other words, just don't put yourself in an awful position where you immediately concede a goal, right?
Yeah.
And it's like in these low-rank chess games, like somebody will blunder a queen, and the other dude will miss that the guy blundered a queen, and then blunder his queen instead. Which is often what's happening in these like Rocket League games. I suppose the equivalent here is like you blundered by staying up with 0 boost. If either of them turn on this ball, they're fine. They blundered because they both full left for corner boost, leaving you an open on net. And then you re-blundered by staying up and watching the play instead of rotating out. So here, pass the ball, immediately rotate out. But you stayed up just a little bit long. You missed a couple boost pads, and that got you scored on. So just blunder, 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 if that makes sense. So if we can just minimize our mistakes, we will be in a strong position. So this is actually very difficult. I know I'm simplifying it to look at ball, look at teammates, answer on screen. But this is actually very difficult to do in practice, and I'm conscious of that. And so what I want to do now is I want to give you a break, and I want to summarize, so that way you actually have the ability to implement this in your games. So when you're playing, the change I want you to make is when you finish your play in the corner, and you're going to feel this emotion, and this emotion is awkwardness, clunkiness, I'm facing the wrong way and the ball's behind me-ness. Do you hear what I'm saying, Cam?
Yep.
When you feel that emotion, I want your default to be to leave and to come back. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the new default mode for Cam. I'm not saying this is going to be right. You're going to swing one way, you're going to adjust, and you're going to make mistakes. But when you're in these awkward positions, we're going to rotate back, we're going to turn on ball cam, maybe grab boost, and turn back. Okay? That's the new mode I want you to play in.
Okay.
So the trigger is, the ball goes into the corner, I have a weak angle, I don't really know what to do. The solution is, I leave, I get behind my teammate, and I come back. That's the sort of new habit that I want you to form in your brain.
Okay.
It's not going to be easy, but that's the habit I want you to form. And what I want you to understand is, while we do this, you're going to play worse before you play better. Because you have these bad habits, but these bad habits you're good at doing. Does that make sense? You're very consistently good at these bad habits. So you need to recognize that you're going to be bad at good habits, and so it's going to feel bad. But once you go from being bad at good habits to good at good habits, your gameplay will transform. Make sense?
Yeah, I'll definitely start doing that.
Okay, mechanically, I agree. Everything Torment diagnosed is correct. Speed flips are a big unlock for your gameplay. I would say fast aerials are a big unlock for your gameplay. Specifically, like, I think something that you would benefit from is running like a fast aerial pack and doing a drill, which I like to call the late takeoff drill. So a lot of players at your rank, I'll show you this. I'm going to go to high aerials by Waiton. Aerials level 3, high aerials. So a lot of players at the diamond level have problem of early takeoffs. They pre-jump because in their training, they think that this is a good aerial. That is not a good aerial. You took off way sooner than you had to. So what I tell people to do is the late takeoff drill. So imagine we're trying to take off at the last possible second to still get a shot on net. And the goal of this is that you're pushing yourself to take off faster and stay grounded longer. Does this make sense?
Yep. And I'm pretty sure I have that same pack already too.
Good. So I want you to practice this late takeoff drill. What you're not doing is jumping here, which is what a lot of low rank players do, and they think that they did the shot right. You did not do it right. It's just the training pack and you wasted 80 boost. You can make this same shot stronger and be more flexible and ranked by taking off later. Because if, for example, here you realize that they hit the ball, you would need to turn back. And so it's not beneficial to pre-jump like this if there's a defender that eventually hits it, right?
Yeah.
It's better to wait till the last second, okay, I can go, and then shoot. Any questions on this drill?
No, I don't think so. That makes perfect sense, and I think that touches on, like, the way that I train. I probably do things like that, like jumping way too early, and just like I practice that over and over and over, and then I do that in game, and then it gets a scored on. And so yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about, exactly what I was kind of looking for, I guess, was tips like that of like, how can I use training to actually implement it in game properly, instead of just like constantly doing what I feel like I should do in these training packs when I'm a lower rank, and what I think is right the first time I do a pack is probably not going to be right, but I just stick with that and I do it every time I go in there now.
Yeah. And you build these bad habits and now you got to kick them, right? Which is
exactly.
Which is why it's much harder to do. So I have empathy for it. I know what you mean. I mean, we've all done this. Like, I learned this from the YouTuber Waiton. When Waiton Pilkin, he now makes like cinematic pro Rocket League documentaries, but he used to make, he's one of the inspirations for me starting Rocket League tutorials. And when he used to make tutorials, he taught this, and I was like, oh, I do this all the time. Because like players will like take off from here. And like and then they build bad habits of taking off way too soon in game, and they drive the ball into the ground, and they get weak aerials. But if you can learn to take off at the last possible second, you'll get much more powerful shots and be more effective in ranked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Somebody said, what's the rank? Silver or gold? No, this is Diamond 2. Probably higher rank than you. Everybody's like, oh, my Diamond games don't look like this. Yes, they do. It's just you're playing, so you don't notice it, but they do. It's easy to watch a pro chess game and then think you're a chess god, right? It's the same thing in Rocket League. We watch a pro Rocket League game and we're like, oh yeah, I'd never just overcommit or forget that I'm on 0 boost. And then you play and you're like, whoops. Not people in my chat. People in my chat, you guys are all Super Sigma legends. But everybody else are the betas. Your teammates. Yes, teammates. Teammates' fault. All right, Cam, I've given you some things to think about. I think this will be really productive for you to rewatch. We've been going about 40 minutes on the recording, so I'm going to wrap it here. I know I've given you a lot to work on, a lot to think about, not necessarily a lot of new things to work on, but it's going to take time, so I'll leave you with this.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it. And I think that, what you told me is probably going to help me a lot. And I'm going to work really hard to implement those things. So thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I'll upload this
Yep. And
on.
that's also what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'll upload this on the. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the whole channel situation. Vote in the comments on this video. I think we're gonna split it into 2 channels, and like all these raw coaching VODs, I'll dump on a second channel. That's what I'm thinking of doing right now. And then a mechanical demonstration I'll keep on the main, or like stream highlights I will put on the main. But I'll just make it very obvious when something's a stream highlight versus a fresh video, if you will. Like versus a highly production value video. Because like these videos I want you guys to see. Like me talking about Pro Rocket League. And if I just tuck it away on another channel, you probably won't see it. So yeah, I'll keep these on the main, but I'll just organize them by like different thumbs. Like when there's a stream highlight, I'll make it very obvious it's a stream highlight. I think that's the way to go. I could build a full second channel, but I don't think that's worth it. What do you guys think? Vote in the Discord. You guys are smart in the Discord. What would you guys? You guys are people in the Clubhouse, so vote in the Discord chat. I'll read this for a second. I don't know what you guys think. Should I take anything that's not a super highly edited tutorial and put it on a second channel, or should I keep the stream highlights, like where I'm teaching mechanics, like the best moments, on the main channel and just thumbnail them differently? Would you guys rather they be on a completely other channel? What do you think? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to do the method I described. All else equal. All right, we're going to check out Cromwell, I think, then. Cromwell. I don't think Cromwell's in the audience, so I'll just record this and send it to him. Hey, we got Ortaz. We got another VIP. What's up, Ortaz? Some other players. Father Whisper. Cool. All right, we will, if you want to stay on stage cam, you're welcome to. I'm going to check out Cromwell's. Cromwell did not have as many questions,